I did run into Malcom Nance. And, of course, the first thing I said to him was, like, I got to ask you a question. You came on the program. He said, Anwar al-Awlaki's son had a rifle and had a weapon and was with Al-Qaeda. I said, I've never seen that report anywhere. He said, well, I've definitely heard that. I'm like, well, but has anybody written it? And he said, I don't know. And I didn't know anywhere else to go with that conversation. He said, when it gets declassified, you'll see it. I said, when's that going to be? He said, I don't know. So I wanted you to know, I just did a follow-up on it. I also asked about him. I mean, he's quite convinced that the Russians were involved in the hack of the DNC, the hack of Podesta's emails, that it wasn't just a fishing expedition. What they do is with the fishing expedition, you click on a link. That link then ends up dropping all sorts of malware on your computer, and you get this stuff.
A free iPad?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much. I'm John Podesta.
He said, according to him, and he said that there's evidence of this stuff on a site called, where I have it right here. What is it? CrowdStrike. Yeah, in fact, the president of CrowdStrike also happened to be there. And they're quite convinced that the Russians were involved in this. They found the same malware supposedly in other places. He said, and from his perspective, he said, look, Donald Trump has seen the evidence. He doesn't believe it. But very shortly, he's going to own it. It's literally going to be, he's going to own the apparatus. This is the way they talk. Own the apparatus is going to be providing him the evidence, and it's going to become undeniable to him.
And he's going to say, don't distribute it or whatever.
Right. Malcom Nance, it's like it's unclear whether or not he doesn't believe it or he just can't, he won't believe it. He said Donald Trump was in Russia for Miss Universe with an unsecured phone, unsecured everything. Malcom Nance quite convinced that if there was anything that Donald Trump wanted to hide, the Russians would have it at this point. I'm just telling you what he said.
You're a very tasteless man, Donald.
God knows.
Well, even for us.
But I asked him about the security force because this is something that is incredibly troubling to me. And he said that he believes that the head of the Secret Service has got to go and basically say to these rent-a-cops, essentially, that you guys are you're a liaison, but you guys aren't carrying guns. That you guys are not carrying guns. And the president does not have the ability to say it's legal for these people to carry guns. He said he was part of private security forces whenever they bumped up, and he was in Iraq, but he said whenever they bumped up against Secret Service or anything like that, they immediately became under the auspices of the Secret Service. And I said, but what happens if they say no?
Right. And
he said there is no leverage. I mean, the head of the Secret Service would have to resign.
Jesus Christ.
So, that's going to be telling. That's going to be telling going forward. Because, operationally, you have a real problem. My fear is not as operationally oriented. But from their perspective, for professionals' perspective, it's operational. But my fear is just that these guys become empowered and they just start walking around into agencies like, I'm part of the Stasi.
Yeah, like you can handle the security detail for the president's visit to Florida. We want the license plate of this guy that made that tweet that he didn't like.
Right.
I mean, that's how it would work.
Right.
I don't think it's really that hard for them to say, sure, you can be his bodyguards. That's not really, in terms of like an actual event provides security. I don't think that's...
No.
No, I'm saying them ceding that authority that Malcolm's talking about to the Secret
Oh, you're
Service,
saying-
I
you're
wouldn't see
saying-
that that's where the conflict would be.
Oh, right. Well, I don't know because you don't know what
I mean,
Trump
yeah, man.
wants.
Yeah, it's true.
You just don't know. I mean, Trump may want these guys next to him because he knows these guys are like, they'll never talk about my hair plugs.
That's true.
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Hey, this is Vinny Sacramone. I'm the head of Mr. Trump's fucking security detail. Anyways, there's some Jews on the internet or whatever. They do some shows or something. They made a joke about Mr. Trump's daughter, and I'm gonna want every single piece of the social security cards, date of birth, all of that.